Hey everyone, imagine carrying a secret weight, something that makes you feel fundamentally flawed, not just that you made a mistake, but that you are a mistake. That's the heavy, often hidden burden John Bradshaw unpacks in his phenomenal book, Healing the Shame That Binds You. I picked up this book because let's be honest, who hasn't felt that sting of shame, that whisper that maybe we're just not good enough? Bradshaw's work is a game changer, revealing how this deep-seated shame dictates our lives, often without us even realizing it. And then, crucially, he shows us a path to freedom. He starts by drawing a really helpful distinction, kind of like good and bad cholesterol, right? There's healthy shame, which he calls adult shame, and then there's toxic shame or toxic shame. Healthy shame is actually a vital human emotion. It's the feeling that lets us know we're limited, that we're human and will make mistakes. It's why we blush when we're embarrassed, signaling our essential human limits. This healthy shame, Bradshaw argues, is the guardian of our honor, our dignity, and even our spirituality. It's what gives us humility and helps us understand our place in the world, reminding us we're not God. But here's where things go sideways when this healthy human emotion becomes something we internalize, something that consumes our entire identity. Toxic shame is believing that your very being is flawed, defective, or worthless. It's so excruciatingly painful that we instinctively develop a false self to cover it up, like putting on a mask. You see, if your true self feels so fundamentally broken, you need to create a version of yourself that isn't. This false self often manifests as either trying to be more than human, think perfectionists, superachievers, people constantly seeking external validation, or less than human, like those who give up, lose interest in life, or fall into addictive behaviors. This journey into a false self, as Bradshaw describes it, is almost like a soul murder. So, you might be asking, how does healthy shame get twisted into this destructive toxic shame? Bradshaw explains it's often through an internalization process. A huge source is our family system. If our primary caregivers are themselves shame-based, they can't help but pass that shame on to us. It's multi-generational, a cycle of hidden secrets and unexpressed feelings that get carried by the children. He shares a poignant example, Max's story, a man whose life was tragically shaped by generations of alcoholism, abandonment, and codependency, leading to his own struggles with addiction and a deep, internalized sense of worthlessness. A huge part of this internalization comes from abandonment trauma, which Bradshaw defines very broadly. It's not just physical absence, but emotional abandonment too. Things like parents being physically present but emotionally distant, not mirroring our feelings, or using us to meet their own unmet needs, turning us into surrogate spouses or family caregivers. When our feelings, needs, and natural drives, especially our sexuality, are continually shamed and suppressed, they become shame-bound, leading to inner turmoil and a fragmented self. We develop inner voices, those constant negative self-talk messages that replay like old, destructive recordings, filling our shame spirals. You know, the ones that say, "You're stupid," or "You're a failure." These voices are like a constant self-attack, making us believe we're defective and will never change. But here's the hopeful part. Bradshaw says we can heal this. The solution is what he calls the externalization process. It's about bringing the hidden shame out into the open, embracing the pain, because as he puts it, the only way out is through. This involves finding a non-shaming social network, like a 12-step program or a supportive therapist, where you can share your true self and experience unconditional acceptance. This repairing of the interpersonal bridge is crucial. A powerful tool in this process is liberating your wounded inner child. This inner child is a metaphor for that part of us holding all the blocked emotional energy from past traumas and unmet needs. By going back, re-experiencing those emotions in a safe environment, and validating that pain, we can begin to heal. He even offers a fascinating technique called giving back the hot potato, which is a way to redo toxic shame scenes from your past, allowing you to use your current adult resources to respond differently to what happened. Essentially changing your internal memory of the event and giving back the shame that wasn't yours to carry. Another key is to confront and change those toxic inner voices. Bradshaw suggests techniques like keeping an overreaction diary to identify what triggers your critical self-talk. and then actively answering the voice with logical, self-affirming statements. He talks about thought stopping, where you literally interrupt obsessive shaming thoughts with a firm stop and replace them with positive affirmations like "it's okay to be imperfect" or "I love myself for who I am." This leads directly to the monumental task of choosing to love and forgive yourself for your mistakes. This isn't about ignoring your faults, but about making a conscious decision to accept yourself unconditionally. As Bradshaw states, you are lovable, period. He challenges the idea that your worth is tied to doing rather than being. Learning to be self-assertive, saying no when you need to, and setting boundaries are vital steps in this journey, allowing you to honor your own needs and rights. He emphasizes reframing mistakes not as moral indictments, but as natural warnings or invaluable teachers to help us learn and grow. Of course, healing our shame deeply impacts our relationships. Toxic shame creates codependent relationships dominated by fear of abandonment, making true intimacy impossible. It leads to projecting our disowned parts onto our partners, seeing them as all bad or all good instead of accepting their full complex humanity. Bradshaw provides practical ways to navigate dangerous relational situations like talking to parents, dealing with authority figures, or handling criticism and rejection. He advises never defend yourself against criticism, instead using techniques like clouding, acknowledging possibility without agreeing, or clarifying, forcing the critic to be specific, and for rejection. He reminds us that our worst fear has already happened, and we survived. Ultimately, this healing journey leads to spiritual awakening. Bradshaw firmly believes that healthy shame is the very source and guardian of our spirituality, enabling us to experience awe, reverence, and humility in the face of life's mysteries. Toxic shame, conversely, fosters spiritual bankruptcy. The book delves into spirituality and sexuality, arguing that healthy shame allows for profound soulful intimacy, protecting sex from becoming dehumanist or addictive. He concludes by outlining 7 major spiritual blessings that come from developing healthy shame: sound choosing, secure attachment to a higher power, finding peace in silence and solitude, experiencing solidarity with all things, unity consciousness, living in the sacrament of the present moment, authentic presence, recognizing synchronicity, ordinary miracles, and cultivating serenity, service, and wonderfully, a sense of humor. This journey, he insists, allows us to reclaim our true selves, our free child, that indestructible core designed to manifest our unique spiritual destiny. It's about finding our bliss, that calling that makes us feel truly alive. Bradshaw's insights are incredibly profound because they show us that our struggles are often not because we're bad, but because we believe we are. By understanding the insidious nature of toxic shame, and by courageously doing the work to externalize it, grieve past wounds, and embrace all parts of ourselves, we can truly step into a life of authentic connection, purpose, and spiritual wholeness. It's a journey from isolation to solidarity, from hidden pain to radiant presence. And it's absolutely worth taking. If you've ever felt that whisper of not enough, this book offers a roadmap to reclaiming your inherent worth.